Ground yourself. Okay, so find that state where you're very comfortable. You can get up on the edge of a blanket or a bolster or a block or even sit in a chair. And just have a moment to recognize the carving out of space and time that you have made for your yoga practice. So consciously drop away from everything that came before and will come later and come into the sanctuary of your practice. So feel into your breath. Just notice, how are you today? Is your breath fast or slow or choppy? See if you can start to cultivate a steady rhythm, a steady, slow rhythm of your breath. Remember those old school metronomes that if you took piano lessons as a kid, maybe you had the metronome on the piano that kept time. So imagine a metronome where you have this steadiness of beat. And then bring your breath into that count. So you can count or just sense the metronome pace. And see if you can balance your inhale to your exhale. So a nice, even, balanced breath. And to be helpful, it might help to count. And stretch the breath out as long as you comfortably or uncomfortably comfortably can be. So we want to slow our breath down, maybe on the edge of what's comfortable, but not to the point where you feel short of breath and gasping for breath. Whatever number in your pace that you got to on your inhale, see if you can match that on your exhale. So there's a mirror image of the two sides of the breath. Melt your shoulders, relax through your skull. See if you can keep your face neutral, soft. Is your posture supportive of your breath? Do your best to not fill up the tank like up in your neck on the inhale. Start the breath low and slow. Move into that ujjayi sound, where you kind of constrict the back of the throat just a bit. So there's a slight sound like listening inside a seashell that happens both on the inhale and the exhale. It's called ujjayi breath. Sometimes in the beginning of practice, it's difficult to calm the mind and body enough for soft, easy, slow breathing. So we're going to come back to this at a later time in the practice and just notice where your brain is at now. And then we'll return. So bring your hands together at your heart and bow. Offering an intention for your class and practice. And release the hands. And let's find our way onto our mat. Okay, so as we start to move our body, let's see if we can keep this breath pace going. Where we're nice and slow, nice and steady, matching inhales and exhales. You might find
when you start to stretch your arms overhead, that you might want to take a deep breath and then hold it. And that's natural. This is the sympathetic nervous system kicking into gear. When we stretch like this, we're stimulating a little bit of the sympathetic nervous system. And then bring your knees into your chest and rock a little bit and see if now the exhale naturally wants to be a little bit longer. So pay attention to the moment to moment changes of our parasympathetic and sympathetic systems. One is not better than the other. Okay, so remember, these are natural states of the body. Our ability to transition between states is really important. All right, let's circle the knees. Circle the knees the other way. When you're ready, you can open the knees away from each other and bring them back in toward each other. All right, right knee into the chest, left leg long on the floor, and let's feel that movement of our fascia, of our tissues roll around in the ankles and wiggle the toes. Just waking up a lot of that stiffness that might come when we're sedentary for a while. All right, so left knee and right leg long. Keep moving around the feet, the ankles. See if you can get the sensation to travel up into your shins and calves. And then release that leg and stretch your limbs wide out. Reach into your fingers and toes. Take a deep breath in. Hold your breath and squeeze your whole body everywhere you can find. And then relax and melt. Let's do that one more time. Stretch out, squeeze the body, and then release the breath. Knees into your chest, chin up. All right, one more time. Open the body out, nice and gentle. Exhale. Bring it in. Release your head to the floor. Put your feet on the ground, arms straight out to the sides, feet a little wider than your hips if you want. And then let's go ahead and rock left and right. Breathing deeply. All right, let's turn this into a fuller twist. Let's lift the hips and scoot them over to the left. Knees come up and drop them over to the right. Take a deep breath, hold on to the outside of the knee, turn your head to the left. Just feel the openness across your chest. Back to center. Inch your hips over to the right, knees come up and drop them to the left. Breathing well. Turn your head. See if you can rest your head. Relax and release to the floor again. Neutral spine, feet on the ground. Take a breath, feel your weight. Long exhale. And then let's roll over onto our side and come up onto all fours. And start to move through some cat-cows, arching the back and rounding the spine. Breathing deeply. Nice steady inhale, that metronome breath. And nice steady exhale. And then let's move the spine about. You can roll through your shoulders and through your hips. Breathing deeply. And then drop your sit bones down toward the ground. Walk the hands forward, relax your neck. See if you can feel into the openness through the ribs and the body. Feel free to drop weight into one side, then drop weight into the other. Then once you're ready to be still, let's walk the hands over onto one side of the mat and maybe off the mat, opening up the rib cage. So stimulate a beautiful inhale here, getting all that space.
And just notice if you can feel on the inhales, especially when you're doing things that open the chest, like gentle back bends, like the cat part or the cow part of the cat cow. Simple things. Can you notice when you inhale with a nice open chest, that sense of invigoration, mobilization that starts to happen in your body? That sympathetic system kind of kicking in. It's not all fight or flight. It's not all a response to threat or danger. It's just our get up and go. It's our ability to have energy and move through the world and have focused attention and play. All right, let's come back up onto all fours. Move your spine about any way you want. And then as you're ready, turn this into a dog pose. So feel free to stretch and lengthen through your spine. You can drop one heel, drop another heel. Just enjoy the movement in your body. Breathing deeply. Heart lifting toward the pelvis. Spread out the hands and the feet. All right, then let's walk our feet forward. Come into Uttanasana, let your neck relax. Feel free to shake your hips, shake your tail, shake your head. Just let everything be easy. Keep returning to that steady breathing. Inhale for a halfway lift. And then exhale and melt and fold. One more time, halfway lift. Thigh bones up and back. And exhale. Release and surrender. Drop your seat and lift your chest. Rising up. Breathing well. Open the chest. Cactus, open the arms. Feel the shoulder blades have a good squeeze on the back. And then round your chest. Forearms come to touch. Inhale. Lifting all the way up again. One more time. Cactus the arms. A big chest open. And as you exhale, round the chest. Forearms in. All right, let's put our hands on the tops of our shoulders, okay? And we're just going to open and close the chest a couple more times. So elbows come to touch. Take a breath in, open up your chest. Exhale to touch your elbows. Inhale to open. And then relax the hands down. And let's just bounce a little bit, rock. You can jump if you want to, or you can just stay on the ground and just jiggle the body around. Okay. So just have that shaking. Pause here for a moment and just notice, how do you feel? You haven't even done any big poses or anything yet. Do you already feel different? Do you already feel a little more embodied, a little calmer, the mind a little slower, the body a little brighter? All right, let's go ahead and lift up, open the chest. And then exhale, bend your knees, relax your head. Halfway lift, spine is growing again. Spine gets longer. And on your exhale, melt, you can bend your knees. Match those breaths. One more time, a halfway lift. Breathing in, thigh bones back, stretch the backs of your knees, melt on your exhale, soft knees, relax your head. Step your left foot back, right foot comes forward, finding a lunge. As we move here, let's start to find that rhythm of breathing. Square hips, tuck your chin. Maybe the inhale on the bent knee, that's what feels natural to me, but maybe you have an opposite breathing where you prefer to exhale on the bent knee. So whichever feels good, just slow the breath down. Let's start to see if we can get that pace to drop a bit lower, a little slower. Be patient. Sometimes our movements and our breath come quickly just because our mind is impatient. So let's try to train some patience into the mind, the breath, and the body. Let's drop some awareness into your lunge now. Root your legs, feel the yielding, rise up when you're ready. A crescent lunge. Arms go anywhere that supports. So one of the things that helps us have a sense of calmness in our nervous system is a sense of agency, a sense of choice. So if someone's always telling you what to do, this doesn't lend itself to a lot of ease. So remember, your practice is all about you. There's nothing that I'm asking you to do or requiring you to do. I might throw out cues, I might throw out direction, but you can follow or not. The most important thing you're doing is being present for yourself. Release your hands back down. Back foot comes forward. Remember, you have choice in every moment. Halfway lift. Spine gets longer again. Exhale and melt. Right foot back, left foot forward. Remember the patience, go slow. Let's start to find that steadiness of the breath again. Breathe where it's comfortable. Wherever your inhale and exhale naturally go, let that happen. You might notice that your exhales are naturally starting to lengthen a little bit more than your inhales. And this is a sign that your parasympathetic nervous system is starting to take over, that you're moving into a steady state. And that's a good thing. So don't worry if it's not, but be okay if your exhales start to get a little longer. And notice the calming effect. When you inhale, especially with your arms overhead, feel the lightness, the sense of invigoration that happens on that in-breath, and the sense of ease that can happen on your exhale. Keep your neck as soft and relaxed as possible, which might mean a different position with your arms. All is well, no matter what choices you're making. Place the hands down, back to dog pose. Long, long spine. Feel into this posture again. Feel free to move around. Wake up all the little nooks and crannies. As you're ready, come forward into a plank and stabilize yourself. Integrate into the core of your body. Notice the breath traveling to the outer rib cage, all the way up to your armpits. You still keep the exhales steady, even with the inhales, or a little longer, your choice. Okay, when you're ready, drop your knees to the ground, put your body down, roll the shoulders a couple of times. And then inhale and lift up to cobra pose. Exhale and melt back down. Rising up and melting down. Last one, let's take our hands wide. Stay here for the breath. Keep breathing while you're here. Stretch your legs. Feel the invigoration through your spine. Let your diaphragm move. Let your ribs move. Feel into your breath. And then relax. And lie down on the ground for a moment. Turn your head one way or another, or put your hands under your head. And just feel into the movement of your body. How does the breath move your body? All right, let's come back up onto all fours and move your body around, rolling through your shoulders, moving through your hips. Drop back, sit bones back toward the heels, child's pose again. Relax your head. You might even put a block under your head to see what feels soothing. Be patient here. Return to your breathing again. Let's go ahead and find our way back up onto all fours, back into dog pose. Extend and lengthen through your spine. And then walk your feet forward. Relax your neck. A halfway lift, spine grows again. Melt and fold on your exhale. Drop your seat, rise up, bring the arms to the sky. And then release your hands back to the midline. So, if you have some trouble with your vagus nerve, this could contribute to that dizziness feeling. Some people almost feel like they're going to pass out when they go up from down, from leaning over or coming off the floor and sitting and then standing. So if that ever happens in your yoga practice, train your vagus nerve by creating a little bit of that midline squeeze. So press your hands into each other. You can cross one thigh over the other. You can take a deep breath in and slowly breathe out through pursed lips, maybe even tucking your chin. This gives cues to the vagus nerve to stimulate your blood pressure, make it elevate so that you don't go bottoming down, okay? Relax your hands, find your breath. Pause here for a moment. While we're standing, we're going to do a little bit of that bee buzzing breath. So I'll speak before you put your fingers in yours. You can either, the flaps right in the front of your ears, you can press them over your ear canal, or you can put your fingers in your ears, or just put your hands over your ears, whatever is comfortable for you. Your inhales are going to be nice and steady. Your exhales are long and steady, and hum on the exhale. So there's vibration that's going to happen. So you won't be able to hear me once we start. So if you just want to have that humming sound on the exhale. And then when you're ready, you can release your hands down. And if you like that kind of bee buzzing breath, you can do it for longer. Obviously, we just did, 3 or 4 breaths there, but you can do it for as long as you'd like to help stimulate your vagus nerve. Take a deep breath in, open up through your chest, lean back, reach your hands, and then exhale and drop down. Head lifts halfway. We're going to come to a squat. Take your feet to the edge of the mat or wider, your choice. Elbows inside your knees. Come as high or as low as your body's telling you to go. Open up through your chest. Ground into even weight through your legs. Start to get your legs on, where you're feeling that sense of strength and blood flow moving into your lower extremities. How is that steadiness in your breath now? Can you feel an equality between inhale and exhale? We haven't measured the timing of our breath, but 5 to 7 breaths a minute. A lot of people breathe much faster than that. And especially when we're stimulated unconsciously, when there's stress or a lot of input, we tend to breathe more rapidly. So whenever you can think of it through the day to just slow your breath down, this is very helpful. Inhale, open your chest, stand up. Remember, if you get dizzy, you can always do that midline squeeze one more time back to a squat. Elbows inside knees or elbows on top of knees, whatever feels supportive to you. Breathing well. Start to feel that you can have control of your breath pace. One more time on your next inhale, stand up. We're just training our ability to go between those states. Okay, so when we go up and down, there's a lot of feedback quickly into the body. One more time, rising up on the inhale and finding Tadasana, Samastitihi, really. Bring your hands together at your heart. breathing well. All right, let's go ahead and take our feet wide on the mat. And we're going to do some moving goddess poses to get our heart rate elevated a little bit. And then we're going to come back to stillness. We're going to kind of go back and forth between movement and stillness to train our vagus nerve to be able to respond and adapt to whatever the need is at the moment. Take a breath in, arms up and wide. Exhale. Goddess pose. Now my breath, I'm speaking, so I'm probably breathing faster than I want to. So you do not have to be at the same breath pace as what I'm doing. It's hard for me to regulate my breath because I'm speaking. So remember the legs, knees track in line with feet. A couple more times. We're going to do one more. And now we're going to stay here. So find a place you may not be so low, and that's okay. Be where you are. Make sure both legs can support you. So if you have a knee that's an issue, or a hip or a foot, come to a place where you're not like leaning into one side. Find balance. Put your arms anywhere you want. Remember, agency and choice is yours. Ground into your feet. Slow, steady breathing as best as you can. All right, and then stand up. Straight legs, turn your feet forward, bring your hands down onto blocks or the ground. Now start to feel there's a lot going on. Obviously, we start to recover the heartbeat just a little bit. But there's also an inversion going on. So just feel into the state change of the brain, of the body. See how quickly you can adapt and return to that sense of stability and ease. All right, let's come back up. Go ahead now, of course, we're in class, so I'm directing the pace, but it's sometimes very nice to just let the pace happen how it will. So did you want to come up yet, or was your body still in trying to transition into that parasympathetic drive? So if I go too slow or too fast, that's okay. Just go at the pace you want to go. Let's turn your right foot out. Grab a block. We're going to find our way into triangle pose. So tip the pelvis, bring the hand onto the block, and open things up. Enjoy this posture. There's a big open chest available here. Can you ground through both legs? How is the steadiness of your breath? And your neck sometimes can get irritated by looking up, so you can look down, or you can look forward. So find the pathway in your body that creates stability and ease. All right, inhale. Reach that arm up, open the rib cage, down into Parsva Konasana, elbow on your knee or hand on your block, other arm stretches overhead. Breathing deeply, rounding the legs, feeling a sense of openness across your heart and your chest. Can you still have that steadiness and pace of your breathing where the inhales and the exhales match? What do you love about this pose? All right, and rise up, reverse your triangle pose again, and then find Virabhadrasana. Arms stretch out if you want. Maybe you'd rather have your hands to your heart. Give your body what it needs. Feel that sense of stability. We're grounding both legs. We have the lightness through our spine, the openness in our chest. Relax your shoulders and feel into that steady balance between inhale and exhale. You might be able to stretch out your exhales a little longer, and that's great if you do. Okay, let's reverse the warrior and then stand on up. Turn your feet, we're going to the second side. Notice the brain settling in, knowing what's next. Okay. Find your way into triangle pose first on this side. Open up the breath. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. Breathing deeply. So we're rooting through the feet, lengthening through the spine. How's the balance between the inhale and the exhale? All right, let's rise up and reverse your triangle pose and turn it into a Parsvakonasana. So you can put your hand on a block or your elbow on your knee. Other arm can be at your side or stretched overhead or out to the side. So whatever feels comfortable for your shoulders. Keep them softness in the base of your skull. Let the muscles, your upper traps kind of dissolve downward toward your spine or toward your shoulder blades. Breathing well. The steadiness with a steady pace. So this is good training for the body. If you can keep the breath under your consciousness and your conscious control, where you're steadying it, where we have this sense of balance between the inhale and the exhale, this is a good training for the body, good training for the vagus nerve, good training for the nervous system in general, and of course, our lungs as well. Okay, let's reverse the triangle pose one more time. Straighten your leg, lift that left arm up, and then find your way into Virabhadrasana 2. Shoulders are down and soft. Stretch through the hands. Maybe your arms want to be in a different position. Breathing deeply. Nice, slow exhales. See if you can match the inhale and the exhale, or make the exhale just a little bit longer. Try not to breathe up into the neck, the scalenes, the traps. See if you can keep these muscles nice and relaxed. Remember that your diaphragm is the powerhouse of your breathing. Round both legs, press your feet into the earth. All right, reverse your warrior, reach into the side body and then straighten your leg. Turn your feet back into Prasarita, hands down on the ground, feet facing forward. Melt the head, return to the steady breath. A nice slow inhale, followed by a nice slow exhale. Let's turn back to the front of the mat and find your way to dog pose. Extend through the spine, enjoy the legs. Okay, let's come forward into a plank. Hold it here, breathe here, feel the side bodies expand. Stable core. Balance the inhale and the exhale. Find the ground when you're ready. Roll the shoulders. Then rise up to a cobra or any back bend you want. Melt and come back down. Up on tall fours. Move your spine around. Swish and sway. And then drop back to child's pose when you're ready. Maybe put your head on a block. Settle in here for a moment. Patience. Come into your breath. Sit on up, sit on your heels or on a block in between your heels. One more time, hands on the shoulders. Exhale to round, chin in, elbows touch. Inhale, open your chest. And then return back to child's pose, this time arms at your sides.
Let's come to sit. Grab a blanket to sit on. Onto the edge of your blanket if you can. So we're going to do either fire log, or I'll start with the easier version. Hands behind you on the ground. Take your left foot and place it on the ground, and we're going to take our right foot and put it on top of our left knee. You can slide that left leg as far away from you as you want. You can lean back as far as you want. You can bring your foot in and bring your hands in for a deeper stretch. If you are ready for something deeper than that, you can come into fire log, which is having one leg stacked or one shin stacked over the other. If you come into this pose and you're kind of like this, or there's a lot of wrinkles in your inner ankle, or you just can't figure out how to be comfortable and breathe well, then back out and do the variation where we're in kind of like a figure 4, reverse pigeon pose type of vibe. All right, so now breathe. Find the steady rhythm of your breath again. All right, I'm gonna change sides. Left foot on top of right knee. Now, if you are hands behind you, lift your chest. Stay inside your breathing. If you're coming into fire log, make sure that you're not rolling way back. You want to have a slight anterior tilt to the pelvis, neutral spine. The foot is not collapsed on your knee. You have the ability to have stability here instead of feeling like you're just trying to manage. Okay, so if you really can't get comfortable, go back into the other position. Whatever you're doing, your chest is open, you're breathing well. Relax that. We're going to take our feet over to the right side of our mat. Get your sit bone, your left sit bone up on the blanket. Your right sit bone can kind of hang off. So you can rest the front of your right foot, the top of your right foot, in the arch of your left. So if you're way listed over like this, just see what you can do to drop into some balance with your pelvis. Left hand is behind you, right arm lifts in the air. Take a deep breath and then put your right hand to the outside of your left knee. If this is too deep, you can put your hand on your right knee instead. Try not to push your chest forward. Drop weight into your right sit bone. Lengthen your spine, let your neck be easy and soft. Breathing well. Come back to center. Let's scoot so that the blanket is underneath the other sit bones. Now our blanket is underneath our right sit bone. The top of our left foot rests in the arch of your right foot. Your left sit bone down. Okay, kind of hanging in that pocket. Lift your chest, right hand behind you, left arm in the air, and then bring your left arm to the outside of the right knee or the outside of the left knee, whichever feels good. Try not to push your chest forward and arch your back. Neutral spine, drop your left sit bone down into the pocket. Deep breaths here. So come back to that steady rhythm of your breathing. Open across your collarbones. All right, come back to center. Stretch your legs straight out for a moment. And give them a good rocking, bouncing. Then we're going to take our left knee in and cross it over. Hook your forearm around that left knee, drop forward on your sit bones, and just enjoy a hip stretch first. Breathing deeply. And then we're going to twist over to the side. So our left hand is behind us now. You can keep your arm hooked around your elbow, your elbow hooked around your knee. Or if you want to go deeper, you can put your elbow to the outside of the knee. Drop the shoulders. Remember, you don't want to go too deep in twists. You want the breath to be what takes you there. The movement of your exhale with your obliques is what moves the twist. It's not the pressure of your arm and leg against each other.
back to center. Straighten both legs again, give them a good shake. And then we're gonna bend our right knee and cross the right knee over the left, right foot over the left. Give your elbow on, get your elbow onto your knee, draw your knee in and pull it up, lean forward onto your sit bones. Enjoy the stretch in your hip. How's your breath? Can you return back to that steady inhale versus the exhale, or both? Steady, even breath pace. As you're ready, put your hand behind you. So right hand behind you. You can keep your forearm wrapped around that elbow, or I'm sorry, around your knee, or you can put your elbow to the outer knee. Find the breath. Now you might notice that one direction is easier to twist than the other. Just like anything in our body, we might have one hamstring that's looser, we might have one hip that's looser, one shoulder. This is true for twists as well. Steady pace of breathing. All right, relax and return Supta Baddha or Baddha Konasana with your legs, soles of the feet together, hands behind you. Drop your knees toward the ground, lift your chest. Find your breath. And if you want, you can hold your feet, you can lengthen forward, try not to round. See if you can keep the spine long. How's the steadiness of your breath? All right, come on up and bring your legs straight out to the sides. Now, if your hamstrings are super tight and you can't get your legs straight, you can always stick a blanket or a block underneath, right above your knee, kind of under your thighs to support you. You can get more support underneath your sit bones, so come up higher on your blankets. Whatever you need for a sense of ease. We're going to twist here first. We're going to the right, reach your left arm up, and then bring it out in front of you, hand behind you. Big breath. Long, steady exhale. Back to center, over to the other side. All right, just enjoy the invigoration through your spine. Keep your throat relaxed. Back to center. Grab some blocks. You might need, 2 stacked high, 1 medium, 1 high, 1 low, 1 high, just 1 block. So, just create a little stack for your head. Now, if that's still not high enough, just put your hands behind you and stay upright. We don't want to overdo the stretch of our hamstrings. Make sure you're feeling the stretch in the belly of your muscles instead of pulling out the attachments of your sit bones or the knee. Of the inside of the knee. So just feel into this softness. Try to get to a place of comfort here where you can rest the body, rest the mind. If you can rest the brain on something like your fists or hands, cupped hands or blocks, whatever you got. So you can always put your elbows on the blocks and then rest your head in your hand. Release that. Bring your knees into your chest. Drop your chin. All right, come onto your back. Bring your knees into your chest and let's just rock a little bit. Breathing well. You can circle around on your sacrum if that feels nice. Kind of let things become neutral after a lot of work that just happened through the pelvis. All right, so we don't do this pose very often. It's some people have a hard time getting into it, but I want you to come bring your elbows closer in and have the top of your head, if you can, come onto the ground. Right, so open up your throat. Even if you can't get all the way onto your top of your head, open up your throat. Breathing deeply. Touch your teeth.
relax out of fish pose. Let's bring our knees bent, feet on the floor. We're gonna twist here, knees go one side, head goes the other direction. And just windshield wiper back and forth between the two sides. Breathing deeply. All right, relax your head down onto the ground, neutral spine. Deep breaths here. Melt your body. As you prepare for Shavasana, if there's any pose that your body still needs, by all means, go ahead and take any posture that is still necessary in your body for comfort, for ease, for kind of a completion or discharging of your practice. Okay, so take your time. There's no rules to get right into Shavasana. So ask your body if there's anything else that's required. Let's be active in our Shavasana as we begin. So when you get there, let's pay attention to the breathing. So remember that every inhale stimulates the sympathetic nervous system, our get up and go. So we want to now really heighten our parasympathetic nervous system, which is our restful state. And how we can simply do this is by elongating the exhales. So let's practice instead of that metronome balanced breath as we move into Shavasana. Let's practice the art of the long exhale. Have that back of the throat constriction a little bit to slow the breath down. Breathing through your nose if you can. Check in and make sure your body has comfort. You know, is there any support that you need that you're finding now that you wish you had? Take your time. You can go get a blanket or whatever it is that you need. Put your limbs in a place of comfort. So remember, when we stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system, this is our state of relaxation, repose. We have the sense of safety and stability. A lot of healing happens in this place. So let's allow our body to drop safely into the earth. There's no need to stand guard. And if you do feel a need to stand guard, like keep your eyes open or tense somewhere, see if you can coax your body into the here and now and recognize that there's no threat. And support yourself in whatever way you need. You know, if your eyes need to stay open for a sense of ease, then keep your eyes open, but try to soften your eyes. See if you can melt the jaw and the tongue, melt inside the ears. deepen our breathing. Now, because we are needing to kind of transition out of Shavasana into a more alert state, let's bring attention to the inhales. Take a full inhale to stimulate the sympathetic nervous system. Perhaps arms stretch overhead, which will also stimulate the nervous system in this way. Bring the knees into the chest. Let's rock a bit. Find your way over onto your side. And come up to sit when you're ready. Take your time. There's no rushing. Once you are upright, let's enjoy a balanced breath again. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.